Hey guys, it's Dan here. I'm presenting you 3 builds that are a guaranteed win for the next patch. You will not find these anywhere because I'm the one who created it. And these builds are too overpowered and broken to be called as league starters. In case you are choosing your league starter, I want you to listen very carefully, okay? This is very important, coming from Path of Exile's biggest build maker. You should only choose Deadeye, Minions, Chaos, or Hollow Palm as your league starter. In case if someone baits you into playing a melee warrior build, like my sister who used to be my brother, then you click on this button and this will save you your entire league. The builds I'm working on are the best options for 0.3, and I'm telling you, you will not find them anywhere. So let's get to the chase. Here I present to you my old Amazon handing over her mantle to the new star. It's going to be extremely overpowered when played with the new Deadeye. It comes with 2 combos, which makes this absolutely delicious. One is the tornado shot and the other is the lightning rod. I've been using this combo to delete every single Uber in the game since patch 0.2. To make things even better, we are getting some massive buffs to both Deadeye and lightning rod in the next league. So currently my damage is sitting close to 700 million, which is probably going to be 1 billion in the next patch. Make sure to stack as many as these mods in your gear, except for the rarity and other dead stats like stun. You can put stuff like resistance, attributes, and other mods here and there as you fit, you know. These unique jewels are completely optional. I mean, you can throw them in once you have enough currency. I'm still working on the passive tree, and the gem setup can be further improved since we can throw in some duplicates. You won't be needing the cast on shock setup since we are getting the new auto mark skill for Deadeye. Make sure to fill out your resistances. You want 75% fire, cold, and lightning resists. For your ring and gloves, try to focus on high flat damage, preferable lightning and physical. For your weapon, you want the highest DPS of flat elemental or physical damage that you can afford, preferably on a Gemini base. The quiver is just some good DPS stats, like high flat bow damage or projectile speed with attack speed. Ideally, just aim for 3 to 4 stats from the quiver here. With the amulet, it's plus projectile levels besides that. Aim for life and resistances. Try to get some spirit for your row mount. With the body armor, you want the highest evasion chest you can afford. Try to get some deflection stats as well. It's going to be pretty strong, trust me. I tested it in the early access. Rarity is pretty good if you want tons of exalt drops. I would try to hit at least 100% to farm divines. Considering the jewels on the tree, just look for generic damage like attack damage, elemental damage, movement speed, bonus from quivers, projectile damage, attack speed, etc. Now this is very important. You'll want 1 sapphire jewel with mana on kill to sustain your mana while mapping. This here is currently my gem setup. But in the next league, you can throw in multiple copies of support gems on your skills. So I'll probably be changing this setup if something is better than the other. This is especially during leveling. The Voltic mark with your new ascendancy point for mark skills is going to make your clearing even better. You want to use the ball lightning in order to inflict a massive shock on single targets. This will give you a lot more damage on bosses, especially early on when you might need damage. For mapping, you're just using lightning arrow. But for map bosses, you shoot down at least 8 lightning rods, then you press your tornado shot, and then you activate barrage for your lightning arrow. Finally, you might want to have a companion that has a haste aura. You can farm that in Act 3 of Jungle Ruins. The next build is another Deadeye build, which is super OP this league, and that is the explosive gas arrow build. You basically fire as many gas arrows on the ground, and then you just ignite it. The more arrows you stack, the more damage you get. This build doesn't require any particular uniques, but I'm referring them just in case you can afford them. It's just for boosting your damage, you know. Early on, you can drop a flame wall beneath the foes to ignite them with your gas arrow. Your Herald of Thunder and Voltaic Mark explosions make it even easier to destroy large groups of enemies. But on tanky rare monsters, you can unleash Freezing Salvo to freeze them in place while you deal massive damage. On your main hand weapon, you need a dual string type like a Gemini bow, with tons of additional arrows and tons of physical or fire damage. A Death's Harp is an ideal choice if you can afford it. Attack speed is also a useful mod here. Your quiver can have tons of flat fire and physical damage. You also want increased damage with bow skills. Some attack speed and level of projectile skills are also good. Your rings can also give you tons of flat fire and physical damage, which can further be buffed with Ingenuity Belt. And that is if you can afford it. Normally, you would use anything on your helmet and boots. But here are two choices that I'm giving you to make your life easier. Both have a slight different way of exploding your gas, but at least you won't have to press flame wall all the time. You can get some more flat damage on your gloves, so consider adding some lightning damage, just to apply some shock without stuff like lightning rod or ball lightning. With the body armor, you want the highest evasion chest you can afford. Try to get some deflection stats as well. If this amulet is expensive, then just get anything with projectile levels and spirit. You want to scale some crit chance in your build as well. Considering the jewels, just look for generic damage like fizz and elemental damage, area of effect, crit damage bonus, bonus from quivers, projectile damage, attack speed, etc. Concerning the gem setup, you don't need whirling slash and shield charge in your offhand, since you can sprint now. The more arrows you get for your gas arrow, the stronger it gets. Voltaic Mark will be automated with the new ascendancy point, so your clear speed will be even better. I'll link the passive tree in the comments section since we have no idea about how it's changed. The last build on my list is a Deadeye explosive shot build. But remember, you should not level with crossbows, okay? Currently, they are as bad as spear skills from Act 1 to 3. So you level with lightning arrow, lightning rod, freezing salvo, and escape shot. These are the best ones from Act 1. I'll get to that at the end of the video. So concerning this explosive shot build, you basically shock everything with fire damage by using the 3 Dragons helmet. And for bosses, you destroy them with Shockburst rounds. So in case if you cannot afford that helmet, then you just use galvanic shards. This stuff has been reworked quite significantly, which is why we need to test it first. You just need something that can blast your maps while simultaneously apply a massive shock on bosses to use our Shockburst rounds. On the plus side, we got shock duration all the way to 8 seconds from 4. This means you don't have to spam your clearing skill on bosses to get the shock. Also, you don't need another weapon to activate your weapon swap now. So, you can now focus on a crossbow with tons of physical damage. Reloading an additional bolt is an expensive but a very powerful mod in this setup. Reload speed is something you really need on crossbows. Crossbows are generally short range, so you don't need much accuracy here. I'm not going to spell this name, but this unique ring will give you the old clear speed which was taken away from us in a previous patch. You also have Auto Mark with Voltaic Mark, along with Herald of Thunder to freeze the monsters. So the 3 Dragons helmet does this quite well. In case if you cannot afford this, you keep everything the same, but instead of explosive shot, you would use galvanic shards. You can get some elemental damage from your ring and gloves, because you focus all your physical damage on your crossbow. Every other mod on the items are just resistances, life, mana, and movement speed. Try to get some spirit on your amulet, but we don't need any critical strike mods in this build. You can get tons of crossbow reload speed from rare jewels, and then you look for stuff like attack speed, projectile damage, and shock duration. The gem setups are flexible since we can now have multiple support gems. You basically want to focus on damage and shock burst rounds, while you stack shock and area of effect on your clearing skills, like explosive shot or galvanic shards. Voltaic Mark with the new Auto Mark Ascendancy is going to make your clear even better. Here we have a weapon swap setup. The red marks the clearing skills and the green one is for shock burst rounds. So make sure you note that in the POB. Finally, I'm presenting you my secret leveling strat, which I tested in SSF this league. You can easily buy off uncut gems from Alva, the NPC, you know. But the more support gems you add, the more mana cost it's going to have. So I'm using a minimal setup for your first 3 acts. Freezing Salvo is extremely good for everything, while Escape Shot is so good to freeze packs of monsters. You can then use the Lightning Rod and Arrow combo. Make sure to always upgrade your bow before the act boss fight. Use Exalted Orbs in campaign only for buying from other players, unless if you're playing SSF. Also make sure to upgrade your life flasks with as much quantity as you can. This is very important, especially before the big boss fights. Once you fulfill the level requirement for your main skill setup, you can switch to that. You get to switch to your gas arrow build quite early, but it takes 3 acts to get access to your crossbow build, so switch whenever you feel worthy of it. So that's it for my league starters. I'll keep updating the passive tree in the comments section below. Hope you have a fun league start. But most importantly, remember folks, save Ghazi and free Palstron.